G'day guys, Chris from the Ultimate Recycler. Welcome back to the channel. It's about 38 degrees here today, that's Celsius. It's pretty warm. I'm trying to push through and get things done in my shed because I've got a busy week next week. We're going to the farm. So let's get on to part 56 of the Emergency Storage Shed Clean Out series. There's no better time like the present. Let's go and make a start and see what we can get today. Coco's not out in the shed with me today. She's found a better spot, as you can see, inside in front of the air conditioner. In fact, I think she's writing her memoirs soon, so look out for it. 100 different relaxing positions in a cool lounge room. Back to the shed, here we are. We're making some pretty good progress in the middle again. We've emptied off the top, as you can see. I thought this time we might tackle that timber box just over the back there. It'll slide off easily. And then I probably will leave the rest up high for now, and we will start maybe on this middle section. We can't really get much more out from above until we get down beside that pipe rack. It goes a fair way back, that pipe rack, so we've jammed things beside it. There's a couple of cabinets here, some really nice vintage drawers, and the bottom one's a nice storage unit too, like old filing drawers. So I'll probably incorporate them into my shed somewhere. I think they might be empty, but I don't think this one is. I think this one's got hardware and stuff in it. So we shall get into that soon. Let's get that box from the top now and see what's in that one. This one looks like a real mixed bag. There's some tools, some Allen keys. I'm not sure what's in the bucket. A bit of scrap metal, a bit of hardware, a bit of everything. Nothing like a lucky dip in a box. Hey, let's check it out. All right, I have the fan going to just keep a bit of air circulating. It's very warm as a shed gets, but I don't mind it so much. It's a dry heat. It's not humid, and as long as you keep your water up and stand in a bit of a breeze, it's pretty good. So that's a tin of random Allen keys. I think that was a good set I used to have that's obviously all been mixed up. These T ones were good, and they had a little ball shape on the end so that you could actually undo an Allen key on a slight angle. I'll see if they're there and clean them up. Perhaps they were good. The box itself looks like it was actually addressed to someone in Nagambie, so it just would have been a packaging box. It's not an army box. Fairly basic design, but no, nice rustic box all the same. I sometimes use these as shelves in the shop. You stack a few up on top of each other. They make nice little storage cubicles. Would probably still get $10 for that. I'll give it a quick wash up just to get the dust off it. I reckon there's $10 in that box. This one appears to be all Allen keys. We'll tip that in a minute. This one appears to be random, totally random. What's in this bag? It's tied up with a bit of string or hay band. Feels like a shape of a funnel. Could it just be a funnel? Oh, maybe it was oily and they wrapped it up to keep it clean. Yep, it's just a plastic funnel wrapped up in a National Bank money bag. So that's a bit unusual. I certainly wouldn't have done that. I don't think the bags have much value now. Funnels are handy. I've got a few in the shed, but yeah, no value there. And that feels like leather, maybe a leather apron. There's the lid of a teapot. Looks 1960s, lusterware, probably Japanese. Not much value on its own. A tap for a little a drum, like a 20-litre water drum, or kerosene or something. Oh, we have part of a cross brace, a wheel brace for a car, but it looks like they've ground one of them off, the cross piece. I think that can be just scrap metal now, that piece. This is a piece of aluminium, just a little cover strip that probably went over where carpet joined in the house or something. It's quite an old style, and there's no nails in it, so that's just clean aluminium. That's fine. In the scrap bin. Don't think we'll get much value out of here. We have, a nice piece of copper and a few brass fittings. Well, that can go with the scrap we sorted out last week. And it looks like some copper wire here. What's this piece? Piece of lead flashing, which they used to use on roofs, around chimneys. So that can just go in my lead box. I will be melting down some lead at some stage. Whether I do it into ingots or whether I actually make lead shot, because I've had some success selling the lead shot through the shop. I won't handle it too much. Lead's not very good for you, and I will wash my hands as soon as I finish this bucket. We have some, looks like some copper wire. It's not magnetic, so I'm pretty sure it'll be copper. We'll check that with a file. They can go with our burnt copper or number 2 copper. A little bit more of it. Oh, that's still attached to something. We'll check this out first. Is it an apron? Oh, it looks like it was. It's got a buckle and a strap. Yeah, just a leather apron. It's very soft leather. I don't know if Christine will have a use for that. Sometimes leather is very handy for making gaskets out of. Given it's so soft, that might be worth hanging on to. I'll check with Christine in case she wants it. So the rest of the wire was attached to an insulator, complete with the bracket. So we'll cut the copper wire off there. I'll wash the insulator up. We'll probably get $5 for that. This is a pivot for like a beach umbrella. So it's quite an old one, made in Australia. Grant Barnett Stand Fast. So that will probably be a die-cast zinc. I don't think there's much value in it. Oh, it still actually works. Might be handy for even a adjustable stand to mount my camera on or something when I'm filming outside. We'll give that a bit of thought. I don't think it's got enough value for me to price it in the shop, but you never know. Someone else might have a use for it too. A little bit more wire. I assume it's all copper. Oh no, some of it's magnetic. So just tire wire. But there is some copper with it, so we'll clean that up. We have, looks like the ball from a trailer pull. Oh, and a light fitting. Well, you guys know that I use those. The switch feels good. That would have actually done for our standard lamp repair that we did just the other day. So I'll keep that. Large coach bolt, pretty rusty. That can just go in the steel, the HMS. Oh, here's the rest of our... Oh, that's the part of the actual... the pull that goes over the ball. And in the shop, I have a tool that's designed to tighten and loosen those trailer hitches. So I might take this to the shop so that I can show people exactly what it fits. Was the rest of this one there? I think it was. No, that's just a bolt with a large brass fitting. In fact, that's all brass. Well, there's a bonus. Actually, I think that was one of those float taps. They call it a ball cock or something. And the rod goes out there. Oh no, it pivots at the bottom or something, and they have a float on the end of it for like stock feed, water troughs, and in your toilet system. Solid brass, that's good. We don't have the rest of this. These old trailer balls with a separate bolt. Oh, that's what that bolt was for. That one. Yeah, that's what that was for. They're actually illegal now. In fact, yeah, you can't have one that's 2 parts. It has to be one solid piece. So that can just go in the HMS. Heavy melt steel. We have a dipper, galvanized iron dipper. Yeah, it would probably get $10. Maybe not, it's pretty rough. We'll wash it up. We might get $10 for that. I can certainly straighten it out. Vintage kitchenware sells pretty well. It's a little rusty inside. If it cleans up nicely, we'll get 10. If it's not so good, we'll just put 5. And a large galvanized bolt. It looks like it's been bent and it's a bit corroded at the bottom. They can just go in our heavy melt steel. And I have another bucket. Buckets are always handy as shed rubbish bins, for example. I don't think we need the teapot lid. Doesn't look good enough to keep. That can start our rubbish pile. And this tap, no, we'll put that in the $1 thing at the shop. Alright, that's all we found in there. I'll tip out these Allen keys in a tick and we'll just sort through them. Let's tip these Allen keys out and see if there's anything worthwhile in here. Oh, a magnet, always handy. Okay, looks like all we have is Allen keys. A bit of rust in the bottom of the tin, that's not ideal. There's certainly been water in some of them. Now, these T1s, these didn't have the little ball on them, but I just found this one. We get a close-up of this. See how they're just rounded on the bottom so that you can actually undo an Allen key from an angle. Very handy. So it must have been this set. Yeah, that's got them all. So I think we'll clean that set up and keep those. There must be an Imperial set and a metric set perhaps. That's a bit rusty, that one. Or it's a shame water's got into here. Anyway, what I'm going to do, oh, there's a bigger one. Yep. So I'll pull all those aside because if I can get a set of those, I will keep them. They are very handy. All the normal Allen keys, I shall just clean up a little bit and just put in a tin, and I'll sell them through the shop. I've sold assorted tins of these before for about $5, and you know, people grab them. They're probably fairly good quality ones. I don't think they'd be a cheap and nasty budget ones, discount shop sort of thing. They would have been pretty good ones over the years, but then they're not in the best condition, of course. That one's actually branded. Oh, it's got a size on it, 6mm. Anyway, I might keep the T-handle ones in case I get a full set of those as well. They will be handy in the shop. Oh, I reckon that's been, either that one's been modified, or, yeah, I don't think it's an original Torx bit. I reckon it's been modified to suit. Alright, we'll pull them aside for the moment. Some of them have been out in the weather, I would imagine, for quite a while by the look of the handle. That one looks pretty worn. In fact, that's rounded off on the bottom, so I don't think I will keep those. I've changed my mind. They can all go. We'll make a tin lot of them. I'm not even going to worry about cleaning them up, you know. Don't have time. So any that don't have the round end on them like these ones do, I'll just put in a tin and we'll sell. And hopefully more of these turn up. Okay, what else can we grab? Well, let's clean out some loose stuff here. We have a fuel can, a Repco fuel can, 5 litres, very modern. Not sure what's in it. I mean, it feels mostly empty. Might be a little bit of old fuel. A little ice cream container here with various switches. A double adapter. Some of those switches will probably sell. We might quickly sort through those. And this little box here has some spray lube, RP7, some hammers by the looks of it, a couple of odd tools. Yeah, let's get that little box on the bench as well, and we'll tidy up all those in this video. Let's see what's left in this fuel can. It's got the little pouring spout there. I'll tip a bit into this jar. There's hardly anything left. In fact, what's left is what you can't get out with that pouring spout there. How are we going to do this? I just want to get a little bit out just to see if it's clean fuel. Oh yeah, splash a bit out. And it's certainly not water. It looks like clean fuel. Water always gathers at the bottom of a can, and whilst that's probably pretty stale fuel, it looks clean enough and no water. And if I shine a bit of light down the end of into the can, oh yeah, we can see through the camera. Beautiful and clean inside. So that's fine. I can then sell that as a clean and operational fuel can. It's in pretty good condition. It's got a bit of a dent this side, that's a shame, but it hasn't compromised it. There's no leaks. So it's got the pouring spout. I'll just wipe that over so that it can get rid of some of the dirt and dust on this side. We'll get $5 for that in the shop. I don't need it here. The switches, let's tip out, and the double adapter. Mostly, yeah, just switches have been salvaged out of things. That's just it's not actually a complete toggle. It's a press button switch. Your little sensor switches. There's another one, spring-loaded one. Lots of these ones. There's some pretty early ones. These look like Bakelite. It's a micro switch, and that sounds like it works well. Beautiful click to it. Yeah, they look like quite good switches actually. And a press button one. Micro switch again. I think they're quite saleable. Yeah, I think what I'll do is, I reckon I'll put them all in a container. Yeah, that still works. Yeah, I think these will sell well. probably go $2 each on all these. The smaller ones I do generally put in a jar and put like $5 on a jar, like of about 10 of them, and they do sell. I don't know what people do with them, but they sell. These ones, don't know about those. That one's obviously proper toggle, but it's very stiff, and they're a little bit weather damaged, so I think we'll leave those ones out. But I'll save all these nice old heavy Bakelite ones. Even got a roller on the end of it. And the small ones I'll put in a jar. Yep, that sorts out all those. As for the double adapter, I think we'll just scrap it. No one's going to want a dirty old double adapter like this. I do sell the double adapters if they're in good condition and they're modern ones, but I don't tend to sell them, especially if they haven't got the sleeve over the pins. So they're really easy to scrap, these ones. They just come apart with one screw, hardly anything in them, a little bit of wire and some brass. You can knock the brass pins out. So it's easy to get the pins out, as you can see, and we just got to trim the wire off them now. And there we have brass and insulated copper wire. And this box, let's have a look through here. We have our can of Sally's RP7, starts wets motors, stops squeaks, loosens rusty, frozen, sticky parts, protects against rust, metal corrosion. Just a general purpose, like a WD-40. I'll use that here. We have some carpenter's hammers. Looks like quite a nice one, that one. When I pick these up, I always check the claw part to see if there's bad chips out of it. The cheaper ones seem to chip out very easily. This one looks pretty good. It actually looks like a fairly good quality hammer, and it doesn't really look like it's been abused. It's a bit dirty, but I think that's quite a nice hammer. I'm surprised it hasn't got a brand on it. We might just buff that up a little bit and just see if there's a brand on it. I think that's probably a $10 carpenter's hammer at the minimum. This one's a bit older and more weathered, and the handle's loose. In fact, the wedges come out of the end. Now the claw, it's not so bad, but it's quite worn. It looks very rounded. Can't see a brand on this one either. We might just jam another wedge in there, tighten it up. We'll get $5 for that, no problems. This looks like the driver for a car jack. One of the ones that you turn the little thing on the side of it and it screws up. It usually has 2 or 3 stages, so it's not actually a hydraulic jack handle. I don't know what it suits. I don't have a jack here for it. I don't think it's worth saving. Can probably just go in the heavy scrap. And oh, hang on, does it go in this? No, it doesn't. These ones actually, the wheel brace or the nut brace actually also acted as a handle, a winding handle for a jack. That one's actually a wheel nut brace and a tyre lever. So they might have a market. I don't know that one has though. Someone might need it. Look, I might put them in the shop at $5 each. I do sell the wheel braces for $5 each, and people come and try them out to see if they suit their trailer nuts and that sort of stuff. And they sell at $5 each. I don't think I will be able to sell this one, but I'll put it in the box. I'll give it every chance. We'll probably just value these 3 at $10 just to be fair, because I don't expect to sell that last one. A good sturdy wire brush with most of its bristles. I'll keep that here because I use a wire brush quite regularly for cleaning up things, and they do eventually lose all their bristles. So that one's a keeper. We have some side cutters. They look like they're fairly good ones, although the jaws don't look so flash. I can't see daylight through them, but they're uneven at the end. They don't quite close properly. So I've got plenty of side cutters here. I think we'll sell these ones. Looks like it actually says Lucas on them, so maybe they're an electrician, auto electrician side cutters or something. We might get $5 for those. We have the tow bar off something, I don't know what. How rounded is that nut? That's not very healthy. Rather than trying to sell that, I think we'll just put that in our heavy melt steel. We'll get reasonable value out of it just for scrap steel. Nice and heavy. Oh, some interesting bits at the bottom. Here we have an ignition coil off a, I'm pretty sure that's off a Victor mower. A Victor 2-stroke lawnmower. Very rusty on the laminations there. I'm unlikely to need this, and oh, it's actually broken out here. So it's no good. It can just, I'll probably chop the wires off for the insulated wire bucket, and the coil can probably go in with the electric motors, because there will be a copper winding within that moulding there. It's resin filled, but it will have copper in it. A little bit of chain, which I've got a bucket here for hanging up lights and things, so I'll add that to my bucket here. A spanner, a random king chrome, 3/8 and 7/16, fairly common size ring spanner. I will probably just give it a little bit of a scrub up just with the steel wool. It'll take that surface rust off it, and we could probably get $5 for it. Well, maybe $3 or $4 anyway. Some little saddles that I have a box, or that one's a bit had it. That can just go in the pressing steel. Those two, I have a box here, well, a large tin, and I'll add them to that. And the last two things we have here are decorative pieces. They're actually like a brass or a copper plated tin on the back, so they're going to be magnetic. Possibly for the ends of an old curtain rod or something like that. They're just decorative pieces. Don't really think they've got any value. Yeah, I think I'll throw them straight in the pressing steel. I don't know. Look, I could put them in the $1 box at the shop and we might get lucky. Maybe we'll do that. Someone might find them interesting. Someone might have a craft idea for them. So there we go. We'll put them in the $1 each bucket. I won't write down any prices for this unboxing with all these little odds and ends, but I want to tell you what I'm going to do with them. Very rusty old screw can just go in the pressing steel. What else is in the bottom? Just a little bit of insulation stuff. And another empty wooden box. Now, that's even less interesting than the larger wooden box we had at the start of this video. But again, it might make a nice little pigeonhole stacked on with other boxes. We'll put $5 on that one. Alright, I'll clean up the rest of this stuff and we'll get back to you with a notepad. Everything's spread out here now, ready for our summarising of this unboxing and just see how much value we got. I'll quickly scan through some things here. I cleaned up all the scrap and we got a bit of brass there, added up to a bit. Some good heavy melt steel. We'll check the prices on that shortly. Oh, that's just to go in the e-waste bucket. The can cleaned up okay. There are our Allen keys in that big jar there, the ones we're not keeping. I did check with Christine on the leather. She doesn't have an immediate use for it. I thought I'd keep it in the shed here anyway, just in case I need to make a leather washer or a gasket or something. And then Christine actually said, well, if you're keeping it in the shed, I know where it is if I have a use for it. So it might disappear one day. All the micro switches, as discussed. The dipper didn't clean up all that well. I think I just went for $5 on that one. The box is washed up fine. Hammers cleaned up very well. No branding, but they're very nice hammers. Good handles. I think they're hickory handles or something like that. No brands again. That's certainly an older style. So I've gone for $10 on each of those. The other tools cleaned up reasonably well. I didn't touch those ones. And the Allen keys that I'm keeping, I sorted them all out. I cleaned up the little holders. And there's only, I think, 1, 2, 3 missing out of that set. But given that they came out of a tin that said Imperial, these were metric ones. So there might be another tin around that says metric. There might be the missing Imperial ones in that. I didn't know the brand at all, Bondhus. So they seem to be pretty good quality ones. They cleaned up nicely. I will hang on to those. A couple of other bits, that's just going in my electrical box here for when I restore lamps. I'll take that to the shop to show the people the tool that works that. Keeping the RP7. I decided to go for $5 on the elbow for the umbrella. It works very, very well and it's quite strong, so it could have a multitude of uses. Anyway, let's get to the notepad. We had $119 worth of things that I'm going to sell. Now the bulk of those, that was the micro switches. There were 17 of the good ones, and I think $2 each is more than achievable. I reckon I could probably if I had one in the shop with a price tag of $5, I think I'd sell it sooner or later. But I'm happy for them to turn over quickly. They are second-hand, $2 each. We might try $3 each for a couple of weeks just to see if we can eke a few more dollars out of people, but I think that's very achievable. The smaller micro switches I just put in a jar. I've discussed the other prices there, so $119 worth of things to sell. The scrap value wasn't enormous, only $8. Some good brass, and as I said, the heavy melt steel was pretty good value because it was so heavy. So there we go. I write down things like this so that you guys get an idea of what things are worth. So, you know, that coil as at electric motor price is 25 cents. I didn't write down the wire. It worked out about 8 cents. But just so you know, there's almost $3 worth of brass. Just over $2 worth of copper. I included the wire with the pipe because it's much the same price, even though I will keep them separate. Even the aluminium is it's quite a heavy piece, 25 cents worth of aluminium. So it gives you guys a guide when you're out scrapping or picking up stuff on, you know, the side of the street, what scrap is actually worth. And the prices are still very good at the moment. So that's why I include those in my list, even though I didn't write down things that I'm putting in the dollar box at the shop. So, you know, maybe $4 there, but I didn't even write that down. So a grand total, $127. Plus, there was also a few little bits that I put in the pressing steel, and, you know, there's value that I don't write down, but my main purpose of doing these videos is to basically show you guys how to deal with stuff. What immediately looks like junk multiplies out to be pretty reasonable dollars. Now, we've got over $9,000 out of that emergency storage shed so far. Yes, there's been some good bits, but even these boxes of junk, it all adds together very nicely. And again, with this lot, I don't think there's anything to go in the bin. Maybe a couple of little bits as I was sorting I flicked into the bin, but virtually nothing going to landfill. So that's got to be a good thing, and that's what the Ultimate Recycler is all about. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you're enjoying this journey. Get some great comments on this series. So you and I never know what's going to turn up in the next box. Catch you in the next episode. Bye for now.